Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Tulianos and brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding 2, available on Amazon.com. Everything you need to know about training, nutrition, supplementation, and PED use. And as you can see, it's a massive tome, over 800 pages. And now, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George Tulianos. Hey, George.
Hello, Ron. Welcome back from Australia.
Thanks. Great to be back. Great to be back.
Meanwhile, we had the Arnold Classic Brazil and the FIBO Expo also.
Yeah, big weekend in bodybuilding.
Yeah. So actually, Panetta invited, I think, Bob Chick and Big Ramy and William Bonnet. And funny how he asked me to introduce him to Bob Chick in Dubai this year. And now I think they're cooperating. Alex Ardetti also was there because he works with Panetta to do some videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sergio Oliva pulled off from the Arnold Brazil. And I think he's pretty good shape now. He's 300 pounds. And I think it doesn't need to get below 280. You know, he's super big, but he's lean. And it's about time for him to step on stage.
I wonder what he's going to do next. I think if I were him, did he already say New York Pro?
No, but people are guessing, you know.
He should, because that was his pro debut when he won that. So he could be a two-time champ. I mean, there's going to be there's a great lineup all the time, but he's very good. Sergio should be top 5 at the Olympia every year by this point in his career. He's so good. It's just he hasn't competed. Things keep happening. We haven't seen him on stage since fall of 2021 now.
Yeah, he needs to stay in track. Otherwise, you know, when you're missing miles, you get out of this mentality. And also your body, it doesn't need that much rest. You need to go to improve with show after show, you know, to sculpt your physique and improve it, you know.
Yeah. I'm really hoping he does that. But New York Pro, always a great lineup. You know, it's the third best show after the Olympia and the Arnold. New York Pro is the title everybody wants to be king of New York. So looking forward to seeing Sergio, Carlos Thomas Jr. We got Kareth Baggio in the 212. It's going to be a great lineup. I don't know all the people going into it yet. It's still a month away. But man, it's going to be a good show. I always go. I haven't missed one of those in over 20 years now. I think the first time I went, it was still called Night of Champions. That's how long. So it was before it was even New York Pro. Yeah. So I got in very late last night from Australia. Didn't have time to print the questions out, but you were kind enough to send them to me.
Yeah, I have 8 questions.
So let's get right to it, Doc. We got some good ones while we were away. Because last week we didn't have questions. We had Frank Seppi as our special guest.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one comes from Dr. Leandro Manducci. I'm guessing he's in Italy, maybe. It says, Doctor, could you say a safe dose of cruise for Primobolin, thinking about 150 milligrams of testosterone as a baseline?
But I think you can use 100 milligrams of Primo, which is a safe dose, to deliver to the lipids. And listen, I'm against stacking other steroids with testosterone as a replacement therapy. Otherwise, you may call it as a mini cycle. Okay, when we're into replacement therapy, we just use testosterone and other androgens like Masteron or DHT or pregnenolone or DHEA. But it's enough with this stacking with other anabolic steroids. Otherwise, you give the TRT a bad name, and then endocrinologists and urologists freak out and say, what's going on here? Mixing of steroids again? So it's not about feeling youthfully, physically, mentally. It's about getting jacked. But this is not the theory and the philosophy of replacement therapy.
Yeah, you know, TRT has become like the term for everyone now. I see young guys that are on 1,000 milligrams of Tren, 1,000 milligrams of Test, this and that, and they say I'm on TRT because they don't know. They really don't know any better. They're just ignorant. But
yeah, a bouncer called me, a doorman. He said, I'm on 250 and some acupulse. And you think this is a TRT? Oh, come on, give me a break. Yeah. You just want to have your gains. All right, this is no replacement therapy.
True. Yeah, but it's funny that because Primobolin, just getting back to the original question, that's a compound that a lot of people think is completely safe, no side effects. They think,
but it's safe, but it's very weak anabolic. It's weaker anabolic than any other steroid available. It's very also expensive, and the only medical purpose you can use it is to boost your free testosterone when you don't have already Masteron, oxandrolstenozole, which is also extreme case in order to boost your free testosterone, because as a DHT derivative, it binds tightly to this HBG crosses and liberates. The point is that all the DHC derivatives, they lead to hair thinning, all right?
Yeah.
So if you're prone to it, then forget about it.
Yeah. If you guys want to have a full head of hair at 50 years old, like Dr. T, listen to what he says. Here we go. Next one. This is from Ralph Acero. Dr. George Suleos. If you're reading this, I wonder if you still believe nonstop use of creatine monohydrate is likely to damage vital organs such as kidneys or liver. You and I had an argument over this on Facebook about 10 or 12 years ago when you wrote a book stating creatine must be cycled to prevent damage to some vital organs. And since we very strongly disagreed with each other on this, we then unfriended each other on Facebook and stopped communicating. I'm Ralph Acero, aka Rafael Acero. Cheers, George.
Yes, I fondly remember this a case. It was an African American who he was trying to convince me that creatine shouldn't be cycled off. Listen, there's no problem with the kidney function as long as you are well hydrated, you don't overtrain, you're not super big guy, because creatine elevates with these cases. You're not eating tons of red meat. You don't have high blood pressure. You don't take antibiotics also on non-steroidal inflammatory drugs. I just finished 2 bottles of rich piana creatine monohydrate stack. All right. So it took me around 2 months straight. And my creatinine in my recent labs was 1. It was one of my lowest values. Okay.
Okay.
Nevertheless, I stopped taking creatine because I don't want to use it now. All right. Again, anymore. However, creatine is also beneficial for the brain. Okay. For the brain metabolism. It's very good for the elderly people to reverse muscle wasting. All right. But I think you shouldn't cycle it in case your creatine value is normal within range. People with that use anabolic steroids should take creatine, I think, between cycles. That's the reason, to get something to get lift, you know? Yeah. So Ralph may be right, but I was telling to cycle it in case you have elevated creatine, or to avoid any elevation of creatine. Because listen, there were times I was not taking creatine and my creatine was 1.3. Because perhaps I was taking too much on diclofenac because I have shoulder pains. I was taking perhaps, along with aspirin, I was taking, also I had a bigger mass, I was 220 or 225. Yeah. I was overtrained, perhaps I was not that well hydrated. And who knows, I think also G8s may improve the kidney function, or the glutathione that I'm injecting myself. Yeah. Anyway, don't stop the creatine use in case you don't have any issue, right? Okay. But if you are, for instance, a steroid user, then check it out.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Good answer. Next one, Dr. T. Do you feel that Primobolan Depot is safe for the hairline, even though it's a DHC derivative?
Not at all. No, we said that before. Yeah.
I know. So no. Damn it. No. Okay, that was simple. Another one is, you have persuaded me to step down my gear usage. This is from Montana Boy in Japan. So you persuaded him to step down his gear usage. I'm a 51-year-old bodybuilder, currently using 300 milligrams testosterone and anthate and 300 milligrams Deca. I do not get the usual side effects from Deca. TRT is not available where I'm located, so I do not have the option of working with a doctor. I'm thinking to get down to 200 milligrams of testosterone and anthate or cypionate, which I think should approximate a TRT dose. Would it be better to slowly decrease the milligrams per week over time, say 500, 400, 300, 200, or go straight to 200? My concern would be if a sudden drop in milligrams would affect my ability to work and overall mental status. Thanks for the valuable information each week.
Not at all. I think this is all the mind insecurities. Go straight to 200, and even 200 is above the 1,000 range. The 1,000 barrier, we hit it with 150 milligrams. Anyway, you don't see, he mentions that he doesn't see the side effects of the Deca. The most important side effect of the Deca is the arterial calcification. It's not the acne, it's not the erectile dysfunction, it's not the Deca tick. The most important thing is that calcifies your heart in the long run. All right? Because it treats the bone mineral density in the osteoporosis by absorbing extra calcium, and this in the long run may lead you to problems with the calcium score. Besides, Deca is accused under prolonged abuse for brain MRI damage in the long run. We said that in the previous episode, I think two episodes before.
Yeah.
So take it easy,
Yeah.
And I'm telling people, do not stack anything else with testosterone, and we cannot justify for life the use of Deca with testosterone. I'm sorry. The only beneficial thing is if you're anemic, if you're osteoporotic, if you're 60-year old and you have muscle wasting after a trauma, for instance, a surgery, and if you have dry joints and aches, use it briefly for 2 months, all right? You need to cruise with testosterone and rely on testosterone with a non-toxic compound, because Deca is a testosterone derivative. It's not something familiar that we produce like testosterone.
Okay. I mean, right. I'm on Deca all the time, but I watch my blood.
In the long run, I mean, in the near future, you'll understand that. I mean, you and I have tried anything and any mega dose. Yeah. So why do we rely in microdose? I mean, microdose, rather anabolic. It's just psychological in the mind,
Yeah. And
just before I was lifting with my girlfriend here, I just use the lighter dumbbells because I can feel my body cannot go under that pressure. I was when I was benching, for instance, the 40-kilogram dumbbells. Now I use the 30, and I have to adjust with this and digest it. Okay.
Yeah, that is a tough thing it's tough, but I try to explain to the young guys, appreciate the heavy weights and all this stuff, the squats, the deadlifts, the bench presses, because there's going to come a day when your joints are not going to be able to handle that anymore. They're not. So
most important, your heart.
Yeah,
this is the number one. It stops your heart, and you're gone.
Absolutely. That's the most important muscle in your body. Next one, doctor, I'm currently on a cruise of 150 milligrams of testosterone per week, which guarantees me 1,100 nanograms of test. Would like to add Masteron. What do you think? I think something like 150 to 200 milligrams of Masteron.
How much is he taking?
So he's on 150 milligrams of test a week.
You see,
right now.
150 and he reaches 1,100, huh?
Yeah, like you said.
So the only reason you can use Masteron is when you have super high SHBG. You cannot use higher testosterone like this guy that he's on the highest range.
Yeah. And
he uses Masteron or Proviron that's not available in the States for the sake of high SHBG. So yeah, you can go to Mexico, I don't know where, to get Masteron, because it's propionate. You have to inject it 3 times a week. Yeah, go 50 milligrams every other day. I don't know how much.
I don't know.
That's one vial per week.
I don't think I would trust Masteron that I bought from Mexico. No offense, Mexican people. It's just that wouldn't be my preferred source. Okay, next one. Can I use a low dose of 25 to 50 milligrams of Proviron every day instead of an AI, aromatase inhibitor? Would Proviron be able to act as an anti-estrogen? I need to drop my estradiol from 100 to 75 or 50 area. Also, can I run Proviron for life without getting BPH, which is benign prostate hypertrophy, without crushing my lipids or getting cardiovascular disease? Thank you.
Well, I can assure you myself that I was well tolerating the 25 milligrams of Proviron, so 1 Masteron tablet a day, and my lipids were fine. Yep. My liver was fine also. Now, the BPH is genetical, okay? I measured my PSA the day I had sex, and the previous day I was using the bicycle, the stationary bicycle. Yep. And it was 0.5, you see? So I think it has to do with genetic. Nevertheless, I'm using also DIN in my TRT in order to avoid the elevation of the bad estrogens that may favor the prostate cancer. Anyway, now, as I said, Proviron was well tolerated. What was the first question of that?
Well, he wants to know if he can use 25 to 50 milligrams of Proviron every day for life, basically.
Yeah, 25 certainly, but he asked another thing also.
And is it effective as an anti-estrogen?
No. It's not an aromatase inhibitor, all right? And as a matter of fact, if you use a lot of Proviron, you will crush that much SHBG, you'll liberate sky-high free testosterone that will aromatize.
So you get higher estrogen.
A counter effect.
Yeah. It's hard to fool your body, guys. Your body's
there's not a free lunch. You'll pay the consequences of this.
No free lunch.
Something else. Yeah.
I say it all the time. There's no free lunch. Question for Dr. T. I'm trying daily subcutaneous injections. In the past, I was doing intramuscular on Monday, Wednesday, Friday with the same weekly dose, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Do you think my estrogen conversion will be lower on the daily with sub-Q shots?
No, there was a myth earlier that they believe that if you inject it, they assume actually that if you inject testosterone into your fat, will aromatize easier. The point is that the testosterone will be liberated and detached from the ester as soon as it goes to the bloodstream and not into the adipose tissue, right?
Yeah.
So there's no chance of that. But people that are fatter with higher body fat are more likely to aromatize more because the fat contains aromatase enzyme. After those with the subcutaneous, all right, I believe the intramuscular has faster absorption, goes straight to the bloodstream. And the subcutaneous, I think the only benefit is avoiding the scar tissue, the deep scar tissue that develops into the muscle. So usually obese people do subcutaneous over here in the stomach, you know. Personally, I'm doing over here, which is intramuscular, because I don't have fat into my deltoids.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think there is any significant difference in the bloods.
Yeah, but that's interesting that you say intramuscular gets into the bloodstream faster. I would have assumed, obviously,
because the muscle is plenty, very rich in blood supply, right?
Okay. I would have thought you're going very, very shallow into the muscle.
Very shallow. We bodybuilders don't have fat on the delts, you know.
If you do, you're pretty fat.
Yeah.
You'd have to be pretty fat. Okay, next one. Want to ask the doc, how can someone find the best dosage for TRT for himself? Furthermore, what's the baseline for estradiol, prolactin, TSH, cortisol, free T, total T, SHBG for a person that is on TRT? Wow, that's a lot. About CPK, should I be worried about 1K CPK with 3 to 4 workouts per week? Also, what's the most crucial things to take care of on a TRT? Wow, that's a lot of questions. So let's start with the first one. Best way to find the best dosage for TRT?
You have to start low from 100 milligrams and increase gradually, but check out yourself how much you hit to the total and free testosterone. And of course, the timing of the measurement is crucial because you need to drop your blood the day of the shot, but before the shot, the trough levels, and see how you feel. That's the most important thing, you know. Don't rely purely on labs. We're more than just numbers, you know, in a paper. And now, regarding the range of estradiol, prolactin, SHBG, each lab has different values, you know, in ranges. But
probably in here, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm telling you that perhaps in your local lab in Boston, Massachusetts, they have different rates perhaps than another lab in Australia, you know.
Right.
And also in UK, the testosterone range goes from 12 to 30. All right, if you are below 10, you consider hypogonadism, while in Europe and US goes from 300 to 100 to 1,000, you know. So it's different ranges. Now, prolactin, usually we say if it's over 15, you got an issue. The estradiol for testosterone up to 1,000 has to be up to 60. All right. This HPG, if it's below 30, it's considered to be low. All right. We aim the free testosterone to be to the roof, to the ceiling. All right. And not just see the total testosterone, because there are people problematic with a high HPG, and no matter how much is the total testosterone, even 1,000, they don't have a sex drive because the free testosterone is trapped. Okay? And never measure a later FSH. It's a waste of money because they go to zero.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, and you're right. Every time you get blood work, when you get the results back, they do have the reference ranges right next to it. So you can,
yeah.
And they'll usually be, if you get it online, they'll be like green if it's in the proper range, and there'll be like a red mark, a red somewhere to indicate that there's dangerous level.
But usually we aim over 50% the total testosterone. Definitely. Well, it depends on the lifestyle, but I mean, what's the benefit? You have 450 while the TRT.
And what do you say? CPK, should he be worried about a 1,000 CPK?
Yeah, it's a problem. Now, at 1,000 will increase your liver enzymes. Perhaps in the long run would affect your creatinine and your GFR.
Hmm.
And definitely, this is not going to lead to progress about muscle growth. You know, you need a lot of sleep, many anticatabolic supplements, a lot of food, because what shows is you don't repair this damage. Okay, you don't have to break down your body in order to. You need definitely rest, as Dorian said.
True. Or as Lee Haney said, well, that was training. Stimulate, don't annihilate. Man, well, it's good to be back, Doc. We actually, guys, recorded 3 shows in 1 week before I
Yeah.
left because Dr. T he's dead set on making sure you guys never miss an episode.
And I got a really good sour out from Victor Martinez. Eh?
Yeah, Victor, where was that on Generation Iron or something?
Yeah, but he's a very cool guy, you know, chill out. And he said he's my boy.
Yeah. Has he ever been a patient? Have you ever worked with Victor?
No, I mean, I met him twice in the Arnold Classic 2020 and 2022. And yeah, I have to tell you that I had a look in some labs that he showed me. I gave him my impressions about it. Yeah, I was in with John the Greek in his room in Arnold Classic when Chad Nichols showed up, you know. I think it was his last show. And then we brought him also an MD, you know.
Yeah, Victor's still somebody I know he keeps talking about. He needs to see if the money's worth it for the Masters Olympia. But I would love to see him in the Masters Olympia.
I think he's a hot favorite. Nobody's as big as him now. You know, he's 49, something like that.
He looks great. He looks just as good.
You know, Phil, he said for $1 million I would do it.
They're not giving him $1 million.
He's 43. He's not 45.
Well, they made it 40 now. They dropped it down to 40.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think they did it just for Phil. Or maybe Jay too, because Jay's not 50. Well, no, Jay's over 45, but I think they did that for Phil to see if they could get Phil into it.
And how much is the price? You know, it's, of course, it's below the Mr. Obama.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I haven't said it.
I think they would raise the bar a little bit more than the classic physique. So 100 grand, let's say.
I think the list comes out like a week after this show. I think it's the 24th. They're going to let everyone know who's in the show. I'm curious to see who's going to be in it. Yeah, are you going to go to it?
Joe Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson's in. Hide Yamagishi.
There's some people. I don't think Brad Schwartz. No. Yamagishi, yes. Yamagishi, yes.
He already said. Hide said yes, and Johnny said yes. They're definitely in it. But it's Romania. Will you go to Romania?
I don't think so, but yeah, Romania is the Wind of Strength by Sean Ray.
Yeah, but that's where this is going to be. It's in Romania. What's that like? Can't be more than like a 2 or 3 hour flight from Greece, right?
No, just an hour.
Oh, 1 hour. Okay.
And I think it's September, right?
August. It's gonna be August. Yeah. So
I wonder why they're not doing it in the US.
No, I wish they would. I'd like to go to it. I'm not going to go. If it's in Romania, Giles will probably go, but I won't go. Giles and Lauren will go. They do a great job. Yeah. They actually all did a great job without me with the Arnold Brazil. I wasn't able to cover it. I was on an airplane. So it was Giles, Natalia Coelho from Brazil. She helped, our Physique Olympia champion. She did some of the coverage, and Miguel Chain. So extra special thanks to those guys. And Jen, of course, for holding down the fort while I was gone. Jen did a fantastic job with everything. Anyway, that's the show, guys. If you have questions for next week, please leave them in the comments below. We'll get to those. Pick up that book, Bible of Bodybuilding 2 on Amazon.com. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Share the videos if you like these. Of course, turn on your notification bell so you know when we put out all kinds of content on this channel. We appreciate it. And Dr. T, we appreciate you very much helping the people around the world with these questions, information they really, really need and can't get the answers from their general practitioner who has no idea. So thanks, Dr. T. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone. We'll see you again next time. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.